Good morning. Thank you so much for choosing to show up today to grab some nuggets so that you can implement them in your business, to allow this to hold you accountable so you can achieve great things. I am so happy you're here. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen and let's get started. Where are you listening in from today? Drop where you're at. I'm curious to see who's on the call and where everybody's from. So it has been a really neat time here at Zoodealio, a lot going on. I'm just excited to kind of digest and share with you what we're learning. Let's see, John is on from Walnut, California. Thank you, John. Thanks for joining us. Terry Clark from Sedona. Oh, I love Sedona. If you've not been, it is definitely one of the places to be. Dane is here from the Penthouse. Love it, Dane. Thank you. Welcome. Marla's from San Mateo. We got Nancy Stewart from New Mexico. Let's see, Rick Sparrow from Las Vegas, Arthur from Florida. We are just all over. So, hey, thanks for being here and connecting and digesting this information. I know we've got a lot to go over. I want to kind of share with you what is going on at Zoodealio. Last week, we talked about Google My Business, and today we're going to take it a step further. I'm going to kind of digest how to get Google screened. I think this is really important. And if you are not Google screened yet, I would highly recommend it. Just curious, if you are Google screened, drop it in the comments, and I'd love to see who is screened. And if not, we're going to go through it. So I'm super stoked about that. We're going to go fast, but I'm going to post this as a replay in the Facebook group. We're also going to email it out to everybody. And I am happy to share my slides. So keep that in mind as well. Hey, by the way, anything on this call you see, you want more information, maybe I share a piece of data or a slide, always feel free to email me at kayla@zoodealio.com and I will get you that collateral. All right. We are also going to kind of quickly go over the Q2 Opendoor and Zillow results. I think it's important to keep an eye on iBuyer trends, and I'm excited to share that with you. We're going to talk about, do you know what your sellers want? What are your sellers looking for? We're going to go over that. I'm going to share some effective calls to action for your cash offer website. I have some neat agent shout outs because a lot of you are out there taking action. Maybe we're following each other on social, or maybe you share something with me. And so I have some shout outs for some of you, and I'm excited about that as well. And, we're going to use this venue here that we have to hold each other accountable to what it is that we want. And last week I had asked, hey, what is the one thing you are committed to doing in your business? I took note of those. I have them to show later on in the call. And then of course, we're going to end the call with that as well. So maybe be thinking, if something just pops into your heart and you feel like I got to do that this week, make a note of it, write it in the chat, and I will be sure to hold you accountable via this forum. So, all right, what is going on at Zoodealio? I wanted to share with you next Monday, I'm going to be diving into some psychology around consumer behavior. We're going to go through The Invisible Influence. It is an amazing book. It's called Invisible Influence, The Hidden Forces That Shape Behavior. And yeah, have you ever wanted to be more influential, right? Who doesn't? We can accomplish more when we're more influential. Who wants to be better at motivating themselves? Or how about motivating your team or motivating the people that are around you? You want to be better at that? We're going to go into this book. It's going to share some insights. It'll help us make smarter decisions and overall achieve more. So I'm really stoked on this. It's an excellent book, and excited to kind of dive in and share with you, extract those cliff notes for you next week. Also, kind of fun, Inman Connect Now is coming up in just about a week, and Inman is having me on. I am going to be sharing about adapting consumer expectations, shifting behavior. I'm going to be talking about kind of what do sellers want and what are we seeing in the field. So I'm really excited. If you're going to Inman Connect, it is a virtual event this August. If you're going to it, be sure to attend our session. We would love that. We're just honored to share. And I'm also really honored because check this out. So Inman reached out and was like, this would be a great topic. Will you talk about it? And I'm like, absolutely, I'm in. And they said, well, would you like us to provide you a moderator? And I'm like, sure, absolutely. I would love a moderator that could just kind of talk through these things with me. And then it ends up being Kendall Bonner, who is one of our Zoodealio users in Florida. So I'm just really super excited. It's going to be the first time that we get to kind of connect and talk individually. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about what matters and the future of real estate and what we're seeing. So it's going to be a really neat session. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this. You know, I pulled up today's Zoom, launched it, and it showed me that this was the 25th time that we have been here together on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. And I know some of you on the call today have been with us from the very beginning, and others that are joining on. It is just such an honor. And I'm really excited to all connect and really carry this forward, because I believe in real estate. I believe in you. And I want to make sure that we position ourselves as the leaders of the industry as well. So that's going to be kind of cool. And then, of course, next week, Elliot has his coaching call. His is every other Wednesday. So be sure to register for that and attend that. Last week, Noah and Keith from the Zoodealio team did the coaching call as Elliot and I were in Atlanta. And we were sharing Zoodealio with just a room full of amazing humans brought together for the Recreate Summit. So that was such an honor as well. Really cool things are happening. And it's so neat to connect with you all from all over the country and hear those similar stories and similar pain points. And then what we also know is we have similar solutions that we can use and incorporate. So very cool, very neat. Just so grateful for you. All right, let's dive in to Google Screened. What is it, right? What is Google Screened? How do you find it? What does it cost? How does it work? And how do you set it up? So that's kind of what we're going to go through. And this will be pretty quick. And like I mentioned, I'm going to post the replay. I'm happy to share my slides with you if you email me. So Google Screened is, have you ever, let me just ask you this. Have you ever seen the little green check mark next to a recommendation? So I have on the screen, if someone should type in realtor in Queen Creek, and you will see those little results on top with the green check mark. So that is someone that has been Google screened. So I wanted to show you kind of what it looks like. As you can imagine, many consumers search for real estate professionals in this manner. So maybe they'll search for a real estate agent or a realtor in a specific city. This next slide that I'm going to show you here is how Google displays it. You know, someone gets on and they search real estate agent near me. The person that is going to show up with that little green check mark next to them is someone that has been Google screened. Now, what does this mean and why should you care? So this is a pay for placement ad. So it does cost money to appear there. However, the really cool thing is if someone searched for a real estate agent or real estate professional or anything real estate related in your area, you will come up as that trusted advisor and you're going to be verified and screened by Google. So it is a very good idea if you are running your business like a business to do this. Take the time. And, you know, if you are not Google screened, this would be, for me, for you, one of the priorities for the week. I would get my calendar out. I would look at when I have about an hour. It's probably going to take you about an hour. And when I have about an hour, I would schedule that into my calendar right now. I have a saying, that which gets scheduled gets done. We went through the 7 habits of the highly effective people, and we talked about how highly effective people spend their time on the urgent or the important but not urgent things. And this is where setting up your Google screen would fall into. It's extremely important for you and for the longevity in your business, but is it urgent? No. Nobody is saying like, hey, I need this right now. What's urgent are those showings and that inspection report and that appraiser you have to connect with and the listing agent you need to call. And that's all urgent. That is all demanding your time. But these things that are going to push you forward and position yourself in a better position later on kind of get pushed to the wayside because they're not urgent. And so I want to create some urgency around this for you because I know it will serve you. So I would say if you are not Google screened, schedule some time in your calendar to do it. My guess is it's going to take you about an hour. That's my guess. So it could take a little bit longer depending on if you have everything you need. And I'm going to kind of go through that here in a moment so that you can see kind of what you're going to need to do this. So the first thing is how do you find it? How do you get to this screen that I'm at? And it's really simple. You're just going to go to Google and you're going to type in local service ads. So when an ad appears for someone typing in real estate agent near me, that is a local service ad. And Google is only going to display those ads to people that they have screened. And when I say screened, I really mean they screen them. I'm going to show you what they do for real estate agents here in a moment. But you might be wondering, what does this cost? And so when you Google local service ads, you're going to see on your screen that there's a little cost tab and you can click that. And if you click that, what I love is it's going to show you in your area about how much you can expect to pay to have a lead through your Google screening. And so you'll see here, I tried it with my zip code, it's 85142, and I told Google, you know what, I want 10 leads a month. I picked the category that I'm in, I'm a real estate agent, and you'll see that it gave me a budget of anywhere between $340 and $510 a month. So it's not free. But as you can imagine, the people that are searching these terms are highly motivated individuals seeking your help, right? They're looking for you. And Google even has a process when you're through this, like if you get fake ones, you can dispute them so you're not charged. And so Google's being really fair about it. They're being really fair about it. But the premise is that we're only going to show these ads for people that we've approved. And so Google has stepped up and said, for real estate agents, we have to have a certain amount of things and we're going to conduct a background check. And so I'm going to show you what they look for. So here is the real estate agent, the criteria. They're going to do a background check. They're going to do a business check on you. They're going to check the owner. So if it's a brokerage, they're going to check that. They are also going to request that you upload your general liability insurance. So if you're a broker, you may have that. If you are, part of a brokerage, you'll probably have to reach out to your broker to get that. I have had many, many agents here at our company, JK Realty in Gilbert, Arizona, have asked me for this so that they could become Google screened. And so it's not an uncommon request. Your broker should be able to get that to you very quickly, but you will need to upload that. The brokerage must carry a minimum of $250,000 in general liability. And that's really low. So I'm sure it's going to be just fine. And then of course, you're going to have to upload some licensing information as well. And then Google is going to do a little background check on you. And they're going to make sure that all of the information you provided is accurate. And it all needs to match. So that's what's going to happen on that end. So I'm going to show you then what's going to happen when you start the process. And you'll see here, it kind of, Google breaks it down like, hey, it's really easy. Just sign up as a local service provider. And then we're going to verify you. And then you just set your ads budget. You can modify it at any time, and then you get the leads coming through. So if you should click that button, get started, I wanted to give you just a quick overview of what that process is going to look like. If you're a visual person like me, it really helps to kind of see the steps broken down so that I know what to commit my time to. And like I said, you'll need to get your general liability insurance. You're going to need kind of your license, your headshot, all of that great stuff. So if you click the Get Started button, the first thing it's going to do is determine your eligibility. And you'll just put here, where you're practicing and your zip code, and then your job category, which is, you'll see it right there. It's going to be real estate agents. And then you'll click check eligibility. If you're eligible, then it's going to take you to the next prompt. And that is where you're just going to put in all of your business information. So super simple, just fill it out. Now on there, you don't have to put an address, but I would recommend that you do. If you put an address, then what is going to happen next is it's going to set up your service area. So on the map, it's going to show you the area where it will display your ad in the event someone gets on Google and types real estate agent near me. Once you confirm your service area, then what's going to do next is going to ask you, what services do you perform? Right? And you'll see here on the screen, super easy. You just check the ones that apply to you. And if you don't do something, don't check it, right? Like if you don't do property management and you don't do rentals, don't check it. I'd say check the things that you really do and that you focus on. And then the next step after that is to set your business hours. And just like on Google My Business, I know that there's some like, oh, do I set my hours later? Because if someone finds me and it shows I'm closed, this is going to discourage them from doing business with me. So that is all your call. Whatever you want to do here, I don't know that there's a right or a wrong. I just think it's whatever is going to work for you. So keep that in mind. I think that will help you kind of make that determination. All right, and then after you set your hours, it's going to give you a preview of your ad. Okay, so at this point, it's going to take however long my brokerage was open in 2007. So it's telling me that 14 years experience. So it's kind of pulling in that information about me. Now, I've not given it a headshot or anything yet, so I'm not alarmed to not see my picture there. I'm just keep in mind, but you could click that call button and make sure it's connected to the right phone number, etc. All right, and then after that screen, this is where the verification process begins. So remember I said they're going to verify you. And so you're going to need to have this information handy. You're going to need your real estate license. You're going to need to upload proof of insurance. Again, that's going to be that general liability insurance. Once you've uploaded that, then you can initiate that background check process. And it's really user-friendly, super easy to use, really self-explanatory. If you run into any snags, Google's help section is amazing. And you can even get on the line with a Google rep. So I would just say, I guess what I'm just saying is like, it may seem like it's a lot of steps, but they go really fast. And this is going to give you a great idea of what you're going to need to get it done. So schedule it, get it done. I'm a huge believer in that. And real quick, I wanted to show you, last week we had talked about Google My Business, and I'm just so excited about all the posting ability that we have on Google My Business. And so I connected with one of our subscribers in Iowa, and he went on to Zoodealio and gave us a review. So thank you so much, Dick. We appreciate that. And so then I went on to Google and I Googled him because I wanted to see, does he have his setup and can I leave him a review? And not only did he have his setup, I want to show you. Okay, I'm gonna switch screens here. This is Dick Carr, and as I mentioned, can you guys see his screen? Is it sharing the right one now? Hopefully it is. So I Googled him, and this is the free Google My Business placement that he has set up here, which is awesome. It looks like he's starting to initiate the review process from people, which is great. I love that he is putting calls to action for his cash offers on here. Look, so he's got his instant offer, right? Receive an instant full market value price offer for your home. Really cool. check it out. Come down here. He's talking about his offerings. He's talking about, hey, you want to sell your house fast? If I'm a seller, I definitely want to sell my house fast. I definitely want an offer fast. And so I love that he is leading with the hook of cash offers. So I just wanted to show you that. I love it. Good job, Dick. Definitely the way to go. I mean, it blows my mind that Google is giving us the capability to do this for free. And of course, they want people to stay on their search platforms. So any content you give them organically is going to be prioritized over other content. So use your Google My Business, upload photos, upload offers, do all of that in there. I love it. So good job. Good job, Dick. I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. And then I'm going to go back to my slideshow here. All right, so I hope the Google stuff helps you. Do it. Do it. Like, action is what is necessary here. You know, we kind of went through Google My Business last week. We went through being Google screened this week. And so if you learned, then implement, because really education is the implementation, right? So we were at this Recreate Summit in Atlanta last week, and one of the gals that was there, she said something that was really profound. She said, you know, everybody talks about how knowledge is power. How many of us have heard that? Knowledge is power. But it's not entirely true. You know, knowledge is only potential power. Potential power, right? It's what you do with that knowledge that will set you apart from everybody else. And so taking the time to implement what you've learned. So I really hope that this will serve you. I'm talking with people all over the United States that are having amazing results with their Google screened. They're getting really inexpensive leads that are very high quality. So would love for you and I to connect back in a few months. And if you do set this up, I would love to hear about your results and how that has served your business. Shifting gears a little bit. Opendoor and Zillow have both recently came out with their quarterly numbers. And of course, I track all of this, right? Because, well, my husband loves to buy stock, and he will buy their stock right before their numbers come out, because of course we have such an inside pulse on what's going on. But not only do I love it for investment reasons, but we're tracking it because this is telling about consumer behavior and the shifting demands of sellers and what is happening with the Opendoors and the Zillows, the OfferPads and the Redfins. And oh, by the way, did you hear Rocket Mortgage announced last week? We are going to become an iBuyer too, and we are going to hire real estate agents across the entire US to handle our offers department. So this is real. Like, it's been real for a while, but man, it's getting real. So here were Opendoor's numbers, and they crushed it. They just crushed it. Last quarter, they purchased 8,494 homes nationwide. It was 136% increase. So, right? The hottest seller market of all time. And they are still gaining momentum and grabbing market share. It's pretty impressive. They also ended the quarter with about 8,100 homes in contract. And they said that that represented about a $3 billion value. How many homes did they sell? They sold 3,481 homes, and that was up 41% from last quarter. So great growth, really strong growth. And they expanded into 12 new markets. So Opendoor is now in 39 markets across the US. If you listen to Eric Wu, he will say that his desire is for every home in the US to have that instant offer experience. So they have big plans. They had a revenue of $1.2 billion. 1.2 billion. Interesting thing here is, though, is they do use the entire home as top line revenue. So interesting accounting practice, but they really are bringing that onto their net sheet, and they're putting it as top line revenue. A little interesting. and their gross profit was 159 million. So they did awesome. I want to read you a quote from the CEO of Opendoor, which is Eric Wu. And he said, the strong outperformance is further evidence of the seismic shift in consumer demand towards the modern real estate experience we are pioneering. Read that again. Seismic shift in consumer demand. Look at the word he used there. Not just a little shift, like a seismic. And so what are we seeing? We're also seeing that people really are interested in these offerings as well, right? I mean, I'm meeting with agents all over the country and I'm hearing the same stories. I'm hearing the story of, I get to the listing presentation and the Redfin offer is on the table. I open up my Facebook Messenger and there's a direct message from someone I follow on Facebook saying, hey, the Zillow offer was this, should I take it? I'm getting a text message saying, I got this Opendoor offer, what do you think? The conversations are happening over and over and over again. And so we see the consumer behavior changing. Eric Wu says there's been a seismic shift in consumer demand. So interesting. How about Zillow? How did Zillow do? How did Zillow do last quarter? So Zillow, they didn't quite get to Opendoor's at, but they're still doing really well. And see, Zillow has all of these other angles too. So it's so interesting. In fact, when I look at their valuation of 1.2 billion, 777 million of it came from Zillow offers. Now, keep in mind, Zillow just shifted to this way of doing business, 2 years ago? So Zillow purchased 3,805 homes. They doubled from quarter one. And they had 3,142 homes in inventory at the end of quarter two. So quite a bit of inventory, not nearly as much as the 8,100 that Opendoor has on its books, but 3,142, it's good, it's impressive. They sold 2,086 homes last quarter compared to 1,965. So, a little bit more. But the interesting thing is, and I think that's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, is so Zillow has this competitive advantage in that they are Zillow, right? In that the consumer already looks at them as the trusted resource. And so I know that from our point of view as a realtor, we're going, well, wait, Zillow's not always accurate. Like you can't use Zillow. But the reality is if you saw the data I shared from 1,000-watt research on iBuyers and on consumers, how they feel about Zillow and real estate agents, they trust Zillow. They trust Zillow more than they trust us. That's kind of sad, right? But they do. And so when we're out there and when we're talking about all of this, we need to know that. We need to keep that in mind. We need to be careful not to discredit them. And for many of us, they are now members of our boards. And so they're actually could be ethically kind of an issue if we're out there talking ill and discrediting. But the interesting thing is, and I think the competitive advantage that they have is, look at this, they had 2.8 billion visits to their site. And they said that's up 10%. So they're continuing to get just massive eyeballs onto their site, and their offerings like the Zillow offer, right, are making it so attractive to sellers. And here's the interesting thing is, so Zillow offers was originally started with realtors and markets, right? And it would be, they'd go and they'd get maybe one or two realtors, usually highly productive teams, and the team would kind of handle all of that work. Well, here in Arizona, they shut down that and they opened their own brokerage, and they've been handling all of their own offers. Zillow has now about 100 real estate agents here in Arizona, just in Arizona. And I know that they're terminating all of those relationships, their marketing agreements with brokers throughout the country to run their Zillow offers all of those are terminating in October. So real quick, we're going to see Zillow continue to pivot and grow their brokerages and hire realtors to handle their offers and buyers and other things. So just interesting insight, interesting to think about. What is that going to look like? How is that going to change things? You know, who do I know in real estate that may join one of these companies? We're going to see it all unfold, and it's going to be really interesting. So Zillow publishes their profit per home. And I wanted to kind of share that with you because their return on average per home is $19,636 on average. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because there are a lot of individuals that are getting that Zillow offer and it looks good up front, or they're getting that Opendoor offer and it looks good up front. But these companies are using pricing models and they're using data and they're making predictions about where the market is going. And they're able to offer a price today that seems really high that they may not fetch for 4 months, but they know that on average it takes sellers a little bit of time to accept the offer. And they know that by the time they get it prepped and turned and put it on the market will have appreciated. And so they're making higher offers. But if you can look there, they're not losing $19,600, which we know sellers are willing to give up some money for convenience. We know this, right? Here's another interesting part about the Zillow shareholder letter that I extracted and wanted to share with you. So Zillow has also started their Zillow home loans. And so they're really trying to, attach the mortgage, attach the title services. They want to be the one-stop shop. And 40% of their Zillow home loan purchase originations are sourced from Zillow offers. So what does that mean? That means that the individual that gets the cash offer is just kind of using everything in their arsenal to make that experience really seamless and to make it like that one-stop shop. So your opportunity to copy that is to make sure you align yourself with those vendors and those individuals to where you can also give your sellers and buyers that seamless one-stop shop. So I wanted to share with you a few excerpts from the shareholder letter from Rich Barton. Rich Barton is the CEO of Zillow, a brilliant man. He started Expedia. And of course, we know what he's done with Zillow. So he knows a thing or two. And so I always read what he has to say and, kind of marinate on it and let it sink in. And he said, 2.5 years ago, we made a big bet to evolve from a search and find real estate marketplace to participate in the real estate transaction itself. Despite monumental curveballs like a global pandemic, we are on track with each of our 3 to 5 year growth projections we set for ourselves in 2019. Our strongly held belief is that people want a simpler real estate experience. And we've made big bets on the e-commerce future of the real estate industry. So I'm not surprised by any of this. But when I do read it, though, I agree. People do want a simpler experience. And people do want things to be easy. And the reality is for those of you that are listening here today, and for those of you that are taking action in your business, that those of you that are growing a business, those of you that are showing up to serve and support your clients big, your sellers, your buyers are having amazing experiences. And you're part of Zoodealio, you're offering these things to them. But what happens is all of those other realtors that aren't providing good care and good service, and as I like to say, they have their head stuck in the sand like an ostrich, those are the ones that are going to affect us and bring us down and allow these big companies to come in and kind of set this narrative. They say they're pioneering. Well, what Eric Wu did flipping homes and taking down the home. I mean, that's been being done for years. I don't know that that in and of itself is pioneering anything. But what he did is he realized that it wasn't just the ugly houses, right? Like the We Buy Ugly houses. It wasn't just the people with the ugly house or the people that were in financial distress that were interested in these options and offers. And he kind of democratized the entire process so that the average everyday American that's looking to sell their home is now going to look at a cash offer as an option. As we say here at Zoodealio, the CMA is dead. Like the cash offer is the new CMA. It's that starting point. It's the initiation point in a seller's mind of, I wonder what I could get for my house. I wonder what that cash offer would be. So I want to share, I know I share this a lot, but I think it's really important that we just kind of review it quickly. What do sellers want? What are they looking for? And sellers really want certainty. You know, I shared the NAR data, the profile of home sellers and buyers, and I shared that data a few weeks ago where it said that sellers want to sell their home in a specific time frame, right? They don't want uncertainty. We call it the homeless seller syndrome. Talk about the homeless seller syndrome. What is that? That is, hey, I'd love to capitalize on this awesome offer, but I don't want to be homeless in case I don't find the next home that I'm looking to buy. And so they want certainty, we know that. And we know they want convenience, they want easy. They want a seamless transaction. You know, one thing I will say is that in working with realtors, I've worked with brand new baby realtors and very, very seasoned realtors. But I will say the one thing that I can just share with you is remove the drama from the situation. Your client does not need to hear about all of the drama. That is your job, to be that Brita water filter. And when that water is coming, you are filtering it and you are handing your seller a tall glass of cool, crisp, clean, purified water. They don't need to know how you stepped in and saved the day time and time again, because you will. You're going to have appraisers that irritate you. You're going to have enough drama in the transaction, right? Without sharing with your client all of those things that and I will say that it's one of the things that the experienced agents or agents that just get in and they just understand, they get it, and they give their client a very convenient, stress-free process. They put a system in place and they run that system, and so that every transaction is smooth. They set amazing expectations. Those are the things that you can be doing to make sure that it is as convenient as possible for your sellers when they're choosing to sell their home. And of course, they want to know cost. And I don't mean that they're looking for the least expensive avenues and options, because they're not. And that's really the interesting thing, is they're not. In just a moment, I have the slide up again that I'll share with you that shows how much money they would be willing to give up for an easy sale. Ultimately, it boils down to everybody, myself included, you, we all want that Amazon experience. And so think through your workflows, think through your systems, analyze them, obsess over them, and make sure that you are delivering the Amazon experience at every touch point along the way. Because selling a house stresses sellers out. And we always say, you have this really cool tool, Zoodealio. You're able to get them a really cool cash offer. You're able to do that, and you're able to deliver on that, but you must lead with it. You must lead with it. And so if there's one thing I could just encourage you to do, is lead with how you can eliminate these top 4 stressors. I mean, if I were you, I would take a picture of this screen and I would go make an Instagram reel saying, like, here are the top 4 things that stress sellers out when they sell a house. And then I would just point to all the things things or speak it or whatever. But my point is like implement this into your marketing, push this out into the world, show people that you know how bad things can be when they go to sell a house, and then pivot and show them that you also have the way that is convenient and certain and easy on a fixed cost that they're going to be aware of. And so use this, implement this, make content from this. It will serve you. Because here's the recent research. Almost 80%, 77% of sellers would give up 5 to 10% of their equity for a non-traditional home sale to avoid it, to avoid the traditional sale. That's a lot, right? So it's not all about the money. It is about the value that we provide, and they really value their time and their, their hassle and their headache. And so show them that you know that, consistently message with that. So I always ask, and I know this is kind of review, we've looked at some of these before, but what is your crazy offer that will separate you from everyone else in your market? Because there are many amazing offerings out there. And you can also collect the offerings from the Opendoor, from the OfferPad, from the Zillow on behalf of your sellers. Do they know that you can do that? Are you going to lead with that? Or are you going to react when you show up at the listing appointment and you look down and you see the Opendoor offer sitting on the table? So I want to just share a few ways you can market your cash offers. And these are marketing words. These are not, this is how I would lead with it. Like hook them in, give them a short little story, tell them about the offer. The sell and stay offer that we have in 47 states. Everybody on this call today can get this offer, unless you're in a super, super rural area. But our sell and stay offer, it's a full cash offer, and they can lease the home for up to 12 months. It's a month-to-month lease. Here is how I would spin the sell and stay. I would spin it as get a top market cash offer on your home, and you can even stay in your house for up to 6 months after closing. I would make content around that, something really super simple, right? You could go to here and you could say, hey, almost 70% of home sellers were stressed out that the home wouldn't sell in their desired time frame. Well, did you know I can get you a top market cash offer? You can sell your house, and you can even stay for up to 6 months after close. Sounds like something that would be interesting to you? Go to my website, kaylacashoffers.zoodealio.com, and get started today. You guys, I had 2 people last week. 2 people. I am not out there marketing Zoodealio. My kaylacashoffers.zoodealio.com website is for demo. It is because I'm working with realtors and brokers and team leaders all around the country. It is my demo site. I had 2 people from my social media last week that submitted for cash offers. 2 people. One's a realtor, but she moved to Texas. Her house is in Arizona. She doesn't want to deal with the hassle of selling it. Wants me to get her cash offers. When you're out there and you are talking about these things, you're positioning yourself as the leader. And I got to tell you, very few realtors are taking the approach that we are taking with this and really being that advisor. Because you're running a risk. You are running a risk when you're doing this. And we get that. It's that opportunity cost. And the opportunity cost is that, hey, I go out and get her all the offers, and maybe that Zillow offer is the best one and they got to take it. And Zillow's not willing to compensate me. Well, if you're using your Zoodealio system, you can add your fee into the offer. And just kind of currently to let you know right now, currently as it stands, Opendoor will pay 1% for a referral of a client. OfferPad will pay 3%. Zillow is not paying anything. The Zoodealio offers will always pay you. But if you're collecting the other offers, because Zoodealio is going to empower you with that sell and stay offer. And if we have another offer in your market, we will also empower the platform with that. And you are welcome to go get the other offers as well. You can do that. So just keep in mind, as you're working with sellers and you're doing this, you're really taking that advisory role. And so I believe that when you step into that position, you're providing fiduciary. Your agency relationship has started. And so maybe even, what I don't see nobody is even doing this. Nobody is even putting it out there that like, hey, if you would happen to get the Opendoor offer and you're wondering, should I accept the Opendoor offer? I provide iBuyer consulting. I charge $500. And if you end up not taking the iBuyer offer and you list the home on the open market, I'm willing to credit that back towards the listing commission. Like, be thinking creatively through this. Everything is changing, right? Everything is changing. And so I want you to start thinking through different ways you can continue to position yourself as the leader in the industry, as the one that is there to help your homeowners make the best decisions possible. You've got the Sell Plus offer. A Sell Plus offer is awesome. You can get a cash offer, and when the investor sells it on the open market, if it sells for more, you get the money back. How cool is that? Very fixed cost. They know exactly what it's going to be. They kind of get to gamble a little. It's kind of a cool offer. And of course, we have our Become a Cash Buyer program, which if you are out there and submitting offer after offer, it can be very frustrating. So if you're buying a new home and you want to compete with the power of cash, we can turn you into a cash buyer. We can make that happen and help you win that bid. So these are the things that we must all be doing in order to continue to position ourselves as the leaders. So I wanted to share real quick with you the offer dashboard, and I wanted to just let you know that this is what the seller is going to see. You need to go in and put your listing price in the Enter Offers tab. That's very important. And if you ever get an offer from us, you're going to get an email, and that email is going to tell you that you need to enter your list price. So in order for the offers to show next to your listing, that is a step that you must take. I'm getting a lot of questions about it, so I just wanted to kind of throw it up right now and show you. And then, of course, real quick, super quick and dirty, I want to just remind you a lot of ways to market this. You can spend money, right? And I bought the Facebook, Google ads, but you can also invest your time. And you can invest your time through social media. I would be posting like crazy about your offerings, posting like crazy. I'm following another Zoodealio user from Las Vegas, and I'm going to show his Instagram here in a moment, but he is making a ton of reels, a ton of really good content. And what I love is he's interjecting all sorts of different things. So it's not just like constantly like real estate, right? It's real estate, a little bit of who I am, maybe a little bit focused on buyers, maybe a little bit of who I am again, maybe a little bit focused on listings, maybe about who I am again, a little bit about cash offers. So he's doing an amazing job at just really giving anyone following him a great, clear understanding of what he does. Add your cash offer site to your email signature. This is so simple. You are emailing people constantly. Great way to kind of showcase your value proposition front and center. And I wouldn't leave the website. I would name it something. So instead of like kaylaCashOffers.zoodealio.com, I would change the hyperlink in Google in your email, and I would have it say like, get a cash offer on your house. It's quick and easy, exclamation point. Just something simple. Make video content. Make video content. I harp on this all of the time. There is just no better medium than video. In fact, at our Recreate Summit in Atlanta last week, that was the takeaway from every comment, everybody that spoke. Everyone was use video. It can be YouTube, it can be TikTok. I met Glenda Baker. She is a real estate broker in Atlanta, Georgia. And she's been selling real estate, she says, since Jesus was a baby. And she makes TikToks about real estate and tells stories. And she's at 500,000 followers on TikTok. And she's already made hundreds of thousands of dollars from TikTok. She went all in. I met people doing reels. I met people using Facebook and using YouTube. So whatever it is, go all in, make video content, just start. You can always optimize. You can always optimize. I think one of the reasons we don't start is because we are afraid to be seen starting small. We are afraid to do the video and get 5 views, or worse, we're afraid to do the video and get tons of views. It's like this, we can't win. We put ourselves in these mental situations where we cannot win. And then of course, Facebook and Google ads, you got to put some money towards it. But when you do that, you're going to get people that are searching on Google for this solution. So I think that's really cool. So I love this quote, the difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you will only do it when it's convenient. But when you're committed to do something, you will accept no excuses, only results. Very principle-based, very principle-based. And one of the reasons I took I think it ended up being 6 or 7 weeks that we spent together going through the 7 habits of the highly effective people is because that success in anything, success in life, success in relationships, success in business, it all comes down to doing the thing that most of the time you are not going to want to do so that you can live the life that very few are going to be able to live. So are you committed? Are you committed to a specific result in your business? And I talk about this a lot because ultimately I think it's what it all comes down to. I can go in a room of hundreds of realtors and I can share with them all of my secrets and what I have learned. And what I know is, unfortunately, I will walk out of that room and everybody will be excited and inspired, but very few will take action. Very few will implement what they've learned. And why is that? Why is that? Why don't we follow through? It's because life happens. It's because things get in the way. It's because appraisers. It's because inspectors. It is because of the buyers that are driving you crazy. It is because of the houses you show up to that don't have keys in the lockbox. Like, are you kidding me? Or worse, the houses you show up to and you can't find the lockbox. It is all of those things that will just eat away at your energy. And so you must schedule the important things that are not urgent. So I asked you last week, drop me what you were committed to doing in your business. And I kind of screenshotted the chat and I have a few of those to show today. So here's the thing. If you are using this group for accountability, I love it. Show up here. I'll put your name on there. I will go stalk you on social media and give you love and encouragement because that's what it takes, right? We are in this together. And so for those of you that made a commitment last week, the question is did you keep your commitment? And then if not, like, what got in the way? It doesn't have to be a shameful thing. Life happens. What got in the way of doing what you wanted to do? And if it was a circumstance like a crazy week, I get it. But I want to dig a little deeper. If what's getting in the way is that maybe, just maybe, you're carrying something around that's really heavy, I just want to give you permission to just let it go. Let it go. You are worthy and capable of achieving all that you want out of real estate. It is amazing. I am so grateful for the opportunity that is real estate. It has changed my life. It will change my legacy. And I want to highlight a few of you that I saw out there doing cool stuff and just appreciate you taking action. This is Rick Sparrow. This is the guy I was telling you about that's in Las Vegas. And if you're on Instagram, maybe go follow him. He's doing a lot of really cool reels. He is pumping out the reels, let me tell you. And he did a cash offer reel explaining the sell-in stays. So I love it. I'm excited. Good job, Rick. All right, here is another one. This is Angela Codd, and Angela Codd made a really cool reel. And the reel was, let me show you how to get a cash offer on your home. And then she did a screen recording of herself going through the process of taking someone from her Instagram page. She uses a link tree. So when she clicks the link tree, it shows get a cash offer on your home. She clicks it and she shows them some address, filling out the lead form, ending up in their back end. So awesome job, Angela. Angela got a lot of views on her reel. So here's the thing, like you're putting this stuff out there, you can reshare something like this too in a little bit. You can optimize and make it better and maybe like do 3 parts, all sorts of cool stuff, but making content around your cash offer sites is, I think, amazing. So I wanted to show you hers, and I'm even considering bringing her on to share with you how she did it because I thought it was that good. Good job, Angela. All right, we got Steve Duffy. He's out there awesome, making reels, consistently on these calls, doing really cool things in his business. So congratulations. Good job, Steve. We got Marla. Marla is out there making reels. I saw that she had committed last week to do this. She was also going to go do some door knocking. So hopefully she did that as well. But I love that you're taking action, Marla, and that you're putting this content out there. It is going to serve you. Again, anyone, if you are listening and you are making content or you're making cash offer content, or there's something you want me to see, tag me in it. I would love to give it some support. I would love to show others how they can implement this. I think that's the biggest thing is we're all going like, well, what can I be doing? Well, these are the things that you can be doing that are highly effective. All right. Oh, we got Dane. Awesome job, Dane. I'm loving all of the reels that you are making. Really hip, really fun guy, very creative. I'm loving it. Good job. I would love to see how you would make a cash offer reel. So a little challenge for you. Could be kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to wrap up today. I am going to leave you with this question. We talked about a lot today. We talked about being Google screened, which I think is really super important for you. We've talked about like what is happening with these iBuyers and how are consumers shifting towards cost and certainty and convenience, and what is some of the content that you can be making around this and how you can be implementing that. And so all of this that we discussed, based on it, what is the one thing, just one, what is one thing you're committed to implementing in your business? I would love to hear. If you drop it in the chat, I will definitely show it next week. And just want to say thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm going to leave this up for just another moment or two so that you can go ahead and leave that one thing in the chat. Thank you so much, y'all. Everybody have a fantastic week. I'll see you next Monday.